So the Indiana Fever have shown nothing in training camp other than some interviews, some defensive clips with their bench, and a lot of stretching. A lot of stretching. Everything 80% of the clips that we have seen from training camp is the stretching. And I'm going to tell you guys why the Indiana Fever are doing this versus a year ago. So, I'm somebody that, basically, was able to break down every little bit of the Indiana Fever's roster or tactics last year during training camp. It was really easy to break down. Really, really easy to break down. That being said, if you saw what they've been showing in other years, so if you look at Scott Agnes' YouTube account, full scrimmages, Indiana Fever practice led by Stephanie White. This is this training camp? April 27th. Yeah, so it was training camp. You're looking at full offenses, you're looking at full defenses, seeing what way players are meant to be cutting, what way they're doing stuff, what way they're playing, what way they were trying to play defense. Dante's struggling to keep up with Kelsey Mitchell right there. But you're seeing what they're supposed to be doing. And I remember last year breaking down every bit of this footage and going into incredible detail of every little bit of the Indiana Fever's offenses, where they are trying to, what looks they're trying to make, what cutters they're trying to hit, what ways Caitlin Clark is screening, what ways Caitlin Clark is playing on the ball, off the ball. I think it was we were like, oh, Jesus, Natasha Howard might be a bigger part of this offense than we thought. And that was when she was talking about winning MVP and stuff. So I was like, yeah, that kind of makes sense. But all of that was a pretty big deal, because the reason why all of that stuff was quite a big deal was that we were all looking at it in a way of okay, this is who the Fever are, this is what the Fever are trying to do, and this is really what they are going for. And I just remember looking at it and I'm like, all right, I'm kind of excited about this Fever season. But we were able to see everything. We were able to see the way the Indiana Fever were guarding screens, a lot of other things. And it's funny because at the pro level, there are teams that will run certain sets, run certain defenses, run certain lineups, and they're going to start using them at certain times. However, if you're looking at the Indiana Fever last year, I think they showed their hand. I think they showed their hand in preseason, and I think it's the big reason why they're not showing any footage. I know you just never even know what players that could be dominating in these, where they're like, okay, yeah, we don't want to show it off. And I'm not joking when I say this. Let's just say the scrimmage footage got out and Justine Bissant is cooking. Justine Bissant will be signed tomorrow. And you don't want some of that scrimmage footage out. And it causes nonsense. Let's be completely real. If you've seen the Paige Bueckers Leah Rue bullshit, it's the most nothing thing ever. Leah Rue made a really good pivot, and while doing that, she kind of Paige ran right into Leah Rue. Paige got knocked on her ass, and was not happy about it. It was a play that happens 100 times in a basketball game. Leah Rue did not foul her, but if you've ever been on the receiving end of a post player much bigger than you setting one of those bullshit pivot screens, they can hurt like fuck. And as a post player, you should not be doing that in training camp as a practice. You should be doing that against your opponents, not against your teammates. So, yeah, it's one of those things where the Indiana Fever clearly are benefiting more from like, are benefiting more from nothing being out there than they are from footage being out there. And I stand by that. I don't think the Fever benefit in any way from a whole bunch of footage being out there of their sets, their defenses, their potential lineups, their potential player that they have as a developmental player who they want to keep long term. I don't think any of that, I don't think it benefits them in any way for this footage to be out. And a lot of people are wondering why is there no scrimmage footage? If you look at certain teams, there's snippets of Aces footage, like small snippets. You're not seeing any scrimmage footage from the Liberty. You're not seeing any scrimmage footage from the Sparks. Actually, no, you are. What am I talking about? The Sparks. You're seeing Julie Van Loo giving the Sparks the damn business. But you're not seeing any like footage from the teams that are going to win a title. You're seeing a lot of footage from the Dallas Wings. You're seeing footage from teams that are looking to sell tickets. You're seeing a lot of footage from the Atlanta Dream. And like, heck, I'm looking through it and it's like people celebrating Angel being like lockdown defense and a guy fumbled the ball for the Atlanta Dream. Angel Reese threw a pass. She threw a chest pass. And everyone's like, oh, she's now becoming an elite wing playmaker. She made a chest pass. Like she got the ball, she had the ball out on the perimeter and she, passed the ball 5 feet away. But yeah, it's one of those things where I genuinely do think that it is very beneficial. Very, very beneficial to not show anything, because it is one of those things that I think we're all as fans really wanting to see a lot of footage. I think it's better that the Fever kind of wait. And we'll see it not against the Wings. We'll see it next Thursday. Apologies, it is 2:39 in the morning recording this. We will see it next Thursday. And that is going to be quite an important thing to see next Thursday. And I'm very, very much looking forward to seeing what the Fever look like in game 1 against the Wings. I don't really care about tomorrow. What I'm looking for tomorrow is I'm looking to see if Justine Bassock can beat out KK Timpson for the last spot in the roster and Shatori Walker-Kimbrough. That's really what I'm looking for tomorrow. If she can't, cool. Have her as a development slot. But other than that, I don't think it really matters for my first game. But yeah, that is pretty much it, lads. I'll see you guys.